Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Monday night, time for Let's Talk Lorcana, your weekly show where we talk, Lorcana and stuff. First off, thank you all for joining us this evening. I say us, we're going to have some guests on in a moment. Logan, unfortunately, can't join us tonight because he is working and doing work things, and last minute wasn't able to make it, which is sad because I enjoy chatting with him. And it's boring chatting with myself. So we are going to bring in some awesome guests, though, throughout the show. I won't tip my hand too early, but let's just say a storm is brewing. But before I do that, I want to say thank you, everyone who tuned in this weekend to CCS. Had a fantastic weekend that I can't wait to talk about more with one of my fellow commentators who will be on here shortly. It was not only... It's always amazing seeing members of the community and seeing everybody come together, especially when you have like over 450 of the best Lorcana players in the country, really, and internationally. Plenty of folks came down from Canada as well, playing Lorcana, getting to see like friends and people I haven't seen for a while. Some people I have seen recently. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. There's just a real cool vibe when the Lorcana community comes together, and in the absence of DLCs, leading up to Milwaukee, this really had like kind of a DLC feel to it. So it was a ton of fun. 20 Lore Pro did an amazing job at the production. The other commentators were great. The players were great. It was just an all around fantastic weekend. But as I started, biggest thanks to everybody who watched this weekend, tuned into any of the stream at all. If you did, always appreciate feedback as well. If you have any constructive criticism or non-constructive criticism, I don't know, go ahead and send it. Always looking to up the game and up the production. So I think we'll be back at Charlie's in December, trying to bring you the same quality and push it even more. So yeah, let us know what you all thought. But that also means that we got some awesome stuff to talk about. We got our second weekend of Fabled meta. We confirmed some things. We learned some new things. I found a couple new cards that impressed me. So I'm excited to talk about those. Yeah. So before I bring in my guests, last thing I'll say is if you're here live, thanks for watching us. I forgot to advertise this on Twitter as I usually do. So, if you're here joining us as usual, thanks so much. And if you're here live, take advantage of the live chat. Ask us questions throughout the show. If you have questions about the Fabled meta or anything at all, feel free to interact with us. We like chatting with you all. So that's the benefit of doing it live. Otherwise, we just record an episode at our leisure and upload it every Monday. But yeah, the live is what it's all about. All right. Katie says I like chatting too. Okay. In that case, let's bring Katie in here. Katie, was that a hint?
No, I just got excited. I like chatting. That's my favorite thing is when I'm casting to be like, maybe I'll just pop into the chat really quick. But yeah, Liam, I feel like I just saw you.
Yeah.
It was. To be fair, yeah. Someone said, so do you get tired going from tournament to tournament? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. But don't worry about it. I mean, you sleep. I'll just take a coma later, probably, right? Just a small one. But yeah, I've been jazzed. I've been reading people's like posts and thoughts and videos about the meta, and I'm invigorated by it. How do you feel? Do you feel jazzed or do you feel anxious? Where are you at?
Believe it or not, all right.
Okay.
I did a video recently about why I like Fabled so much. And my favorite comments, like a lot of great supportive comments from the community, love it so much. But as is human nature, you get stuck on the negative ones. And several comments about how I am indicating that my allegiages have been bought and I'm overly positive about the game for reason.
Oh, no.
For reason.
Yeah, I've seen allegations that have floated out there before, and I'm like,
yeah. So I just want to caveat this with these are my own opinions, and if I'm unflinchingly positive, like right now, there's a bunch of negatives about it. We talk about the negatives too, but before I say all it is to say that this is the gosh darn truth. I actually kind of like the meta right now. I didn't think I would. When you see a card like like Dumbo that is priced the way he is, and you're like, oh my goodness, this card is so it must be so good. It's so overpriced. It's a 4 of, everybody's playing him. It indicates that there's something in the meta that is just so overpowered that it's just going to be a mess. I don't know. It's going to be boring, stale, just like one dominant deck. And I actually kind of like where it's at. And let me pause there. I will just say right now, I kind of like it. I'll give my reasons why, but before I go on for like 5 minutes, what are your thoughts?
So I think is like, I didn't play this weekend. That's very obvious. You guys saw me. I was very distinctly not playing, but I watched it and I had fun watching it. And I think that's maybe because we're a little bit nerdy than other people about certain things. I mean, I think it's very fun to know that it's the birth of a second phase of the game that we've been playing for 2 years. And to me, I came into this weekend kind of knowing that this is the dress rehearsal for some very big things coming up. This is like the deepest waters we've been in yet. So I thought it was fun. I think it's cool. I think at the end of the day, less than 50% of the decks were Blurple. Now more than 50% of the decks had Dumbo. We can talk about that. I think it's just because I think drawing cards feels good when you don't know what's going on. So I don't know if it's scientifically proven that Dumbo's broken, or is that just proof that we want to draw cards right now and it feels good to draw cards. And I think we saw Dumbo is not back. I didn't see a board state. I'm like, and Dumbo's down. It's over. He scoops. So I don't know. I'd like to hear. I mean, we're going to talk to a few stormy players out there, and I'm interested to see, did they have fun playing? Because I mean, if they start crying, then maybe that's something different, right? But did you have fun watching?
Me, yeah, and I think that's why I'm actually happy about it. So a few things. One is not like any early in every set, kind of like you were indicating, not convinced that the meta is solved at all. There are clearly some decks that are very, very good. I'm also convinced Blurple will probably remain the best deck in the meta, throughout. But I'm sure that there are a variety of different tools and decks and things that people will come up with as the meta goes on that'll make it a little more fun. So that's number one. Like, we're still 2 weeks in. Number two, even though Blurple is the dominant deck, I actually find it fun to watch, oddly enough.
It's a fun mirror match. It's one of the more fun mirror matches you can watch.
And it's funny because for the last 2 years doing commentary, I really dislike most mirror matches. And I think that's just become, especially, sorry, Sailor, like Ruby Sapphire mirrors.
Oh, since it's Showdown, it's fine. Watching the Infinity tournament, I briefly pulled it up a few times on Sunday, and I went, because like you just see the board, and it'd be like we're like, we're on game one. It's been 40 minutes. So yeah, I thought it was fun, and also because I mean, talking to the players after, all of them are just going down like, this is our theory why this is good. This is our theory why this is good. So it's very fun to hear everybody's kind of. This is why, I mean, people selling why they think it's good and showing why they think it's good. I mean, the debates are still continuing. Is Second Star of the Right good? Is Monster good? Do you need a magic feather? And I think those debates are very fun. And in the middle is everybody listening to this and saying, well, I'm going to push right through whatever you build. And so I find it fun. But yeah, I am interested to talk to the players because at the end of the day, if the players don't play, then we have nothing to talk about. So
that's true.
But there was a lot of players playing. So the good news is there was no short supply of people playing this weekend. I think 455 at CCS. I am sorting bulk. I am so sorry. And Shannon Chatter says, are you opening packs? No, I'm just, fiddling with cards because I like to do that. But yeah, I think a lot of people are excited to go in the room and prove what they knew. And I think it's very fun how many people are like, I'm already trying to break the meta before the meta even was born.
Yeah. Also, Emerald Steel mirrors also, but so one of the things that I like about watching Blurple is it really does feel like a chess match. There's this punch counter punch that you see, and you see this when you have a lot of mirrors, like Amethyst, Emerald, Tempo decks are very similar, where there's this tit for tat constantly going on. You also see it with green steel mirrors, but what makes it really fun to me with Blurple is one of the reasons that Blurple is so good is it has a preponderance of the meta's catch-up cards right now. I think RMB has a better word for them, but cards that basically allow you to swing the tempo of the game to move from control to the beatdown roll. And those are cards that generally in Lorcana allow you to establish a board presence while doing something to affect your opponent's board. So if I play a Hades and I remove your most powerful character and I get to establish a character that is a wild swing in board state. Bell Accomplished Mystic can do that by moving damage counters. Elsa the Fifth Spirit can do that by exerting characters. And so what that leads to is this scenario where their players move from the beatdown to the control, like back and forth over and over again, these wild swings, you know, and then each try to get characters to stick to hit that second star to the right. And I just really, really enjoyed watching some of those mirrors. And I never, ever, ever thought I would be excited about watching a mirror match.
Yeah. And it was so, I think the other thing that there's like a lot going on in the fact that we haven't had like a big tournament in a while. I mean, we had some nice 1Ks, maybe some 5Ks, certainly not a 25K. Like we saw at Charlie's, we had Ink, which had just the most heaviest of hitters. I thought we had every heavy hitter in the room, and then I looked at who was at Ink, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's a lot of people. So the answer is, I feel like everybody was playing Disney Lorcana this weekend, and that's exciting to me. So I'm very excited about PPG. That's coming up in like 4 hours, basically. 3 days. We will be headed to Denver. And yeah, the energy in the room was very fun. It didn't feel doom and gloom. I think everybody remembers the Ruby, but the Amethyst Ruby meta of set 2, where there was not a lot of happy faces in the tournaments I went to. They felt kind of like, man, this is not fun. But I felt like people were kind of, there was obviously people don't like losing, and obviously only one person won, but I think it was quite fun. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it more. I could talk about it a lot, and I have been to anyone that will listen. So it could be you. It could be you and the next guest. I'm excited. The Maelstrom Stormfront. I already talked about it. I went to dinner with Luke and his wife, and I even was like at pizza. I'm like, and another thing. Which, speaking of, Luke won Infinity. Which, did you watch it? Did you see the deck list for Infinity? That was rough.
I did not, but somebody here in the chat saying that Luke had a bajillion cards on board.
It was, I took a screenshot because I was like, it's happening again. Doctor, it's set 7. What happened?
Oh no. Yeah, I didn't watch much of Infinity. I've been having a hard enough time finding free time to study like Core Constructed and watching that, so it's been tough to follow two formats. I will.
Only a little stuff going on, right? Well, the answer is Infinity. It felt like set 7 from the one I tuned in. It was like set 7 with just hyper aggros, but hyper aggro's always there, and it's supposed to be there, guys. Hyper aggro's like crowd control.
Yeah, you need it. You need it, a splash of it, and in fact, I think we had the right amount. Although, okay, I'm super excited to talk about this later. Just one little teaser for later. I was talking to some folks at Ink, and like, hey, meta's super interesting, right? And they were like, yeah, Amber Steel is crazy. It's everywhere. I don't know what beats it. And I was like,
yeah.
And they were like, yeah, Amethyst Steel wasn't that good. Like, we didn't see much Amethyst Steel. And I was like, we were at completely opposite tournaments. Like, this is not the same.
It's not done yet, guys. Yeah, the science isn't all in. They didn't have any. They didn't have any Sapphire Emerald in the top 6.
Yeah. Hey, Monica. Yeah. So
anyway. Patrick might be far behind. They're the kind of duo. So if it's just her, it's Lorcana single.
There's always another. Well, we have a lot of folks to get to. I can't wait to talk about both tournaments. We're going to start talking a little bit more about Charlie's, and then we're going to bring in somebody in a bit to talk about what they saw at Ink, because we have to pay attention to both tournaments this weekend. Both fantastic events. So well, wait a second, Katie. What? Oh my goodness! Is that rain? Feels like a storm is brewing.
Some kind of storm with a fun name, perhaps a Maelstrom.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, we've got some folks from Maelstrom here tonight. We're going to bring them in one at a time to talk about the event. First, let's bring in a couple. We're going to bring in some Maelstrom folks from CCS. First, let's bring in the one who finished the best. No shade to anybody else. But Humble battled his way with a Blurple deck all the way into the top 4, very, very close to cracking the finals. Really excited to welcome in Humble. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. Especially, like, how long ago did you get to your place from your airline saga?
Do you want the real answer or do you want a made-up answer? The real answer?
I think so. Well, now I'm scared, but
13 minutes ago, I got in the door.
So plenty of time. You've been home for like basically hours.
So I got at the first airport at 8 a.m. this morning, and I've been in an airport all day. So,
and now you're here. So
I am here. I am here. That's the important part. We are here.
And
I am finally home.
Do you still feel humble, or are you no longer humble? You're going to hang up that because you're like, now I'm a top 4 finisher at CCS. I am no longer humble.
Definitely humble.
I'm confident.
Gotta remain
humble.
Gotta remain to the
All right. Perfect. But it was quite the run.
It was. So fun fact, me and I stayed with Kendall, and both RMB and I stayed with Kendall. And Tiago also stayed with Kendall. And the night before, we did some play testing because Tiago was going to play Amethyst Sapphire, and I was going to play the Amethyst Sapphire deck, but not the list I played in the main event. Okay. And the only deck he had sleeved at the time was his Amethyst Steel, so he's like, "Oh, I'll just play this against you," and proceeded to just utterly annihilate both RMB and I for about an hour and a half.
A nice fun thing to do to friends. Be like, hey.
Oh, for sure. And for lack of a better term, I completely crashed out. I was like, I'm just gonna get the next Uber to the airport and get the next flight and just go home and just not play. I don't want to do this anymore. So in a fever dream, and he was like, and he said like, oh wow, maybe I should just play Purple Steel again. So which we both decided, to stay on our respective decks. He stayed on Purple Steel. I changed my list back to what it was before testing because I had kind of a rough day and a half of testing. I had kind of cannibalized my list to not the thing I had been testing for the previous weeks. So I just went back to it. I was like, this is what I'm comfortable on. I'm going to do this. And in a fever dream, 6 a.m., like 7 o'clock in the morning, R&B wakes up like he had this epiphany in his dreams and says, I don't want to play Visions. I don't think that card's good. And I was already. I'm
imagining that scene from Emperor's New Groove where Kronk wakes up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
that is exactly what happened. Our alarm went off, and the first things he said to me was, "I'm cutting Visions." And I was like, I was pre-tilted. I was like, okay, got it. I'll do whatever you do. I believe in you. So we very quickly took out the Visions for Develop Your Brain. And the thing that I did, I convinced him on, was to play Rafiki over Royal Guard. Each of those changes that we made were so relevant the entire day. He sold me on Develop Your Brain like in just like a few short sentences, and so I sleeved the list with no practice. That's what I started. Round one, I think my first play was a Develop Your Brain, and it was immediately just okay, this is pretty good. And then I played it, in the next rounds, and I played it against the Blurple Mirror match, and I was able to. I altered my hand, and I didn't have turn 2 ramp, but I had to Develop Your Brain, and I was able to play Develop Your Brain. I found Sail of the 2 cards, and then drew a card for turn, and was able to go Sail into a 1-drop, and then the tempo was like I went second. I didn't win a die roll almost the entire day. So
Maelstrom didn't win die rolls. It sounds like you guys were just not doing that.
So shout out to Sailor. He is one of the most cracked individuals on the face of the world because he just didn't win a die roll the entire day, and it did not matter because he still won. It was amazing.
He's built different.
He is.
He's built different.
I lost the first 5 dice rolls of the day and started out 5-0. And if I was playing any other deck other than Blurple or Green Blue, I think I lose those dice rolls and I don't have the record I had.
Now, we talked about play draw disparity quite a bit because that was something people were talking over and over again. They're like, the die roll. Why don't we just do best of 1 because the die roll? So do you think that's something indicative of Blurple specifically, the way you built Blurple, or is the meta not as die roll dependent?
So the meta is die roll dependent to an extent. There are decks that, in my opinion, kind of break that disparity, and for the most part, it's the Sapphire decks. Like the ramping is kind of what gets you back into the game from being a turn behind, essentially. Especially when aggro decks are so prominent in a lot of the format. Like the Amber Steel deck is probably the premier aggro variant. But then you also have the Amethyst Steel deck that's coming in as, can kind of put the screws to you as well with like some very oppressive draws. So that being said, like those decks typically want to go first. Like there are some more mid-rangey versions of the Amethyst Steel deck that can win going second, and I think that in that matchup specifically, it does take a lot of player skill into consideration. Because again, shout out to Iago. I've watched him lose 5 die rolls in a row as well, and it also didn't matter. And a lot of those times, like, now I'm no purple steel pilot by any means, but watching some of his games, like seeing him navigate his way from like out of being from behind, a lesser player would have stumbled and not gotten there essentially. So I think that it is a problem. Like obviously, like winning the die roll is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. But also, if you have put the time in and put the practice in and kind of know what you're doing, going second isn't as detrimental as I thought it was, to be completely honest.
Interesting. Oh, look at that. You all watch. I forgot I was sharing the screen. You're all watching me put my Patreon.
Yeah. Here we're like watching.
There you go.
Like, at least you're not like on
Patreon.
Amazon.
There you go.
Like, it's time to see if Fabled is on Amazon yet. So.
Yeah, no, there you go. Sorry, I didn't prep chat stuff. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I wish I'd, going to the weekend, I was like, I'm going to pay really close attention to the die rolls that I see and like get the math and get like a small sample size. And I didn't, unfortunately, but yeah, but that is interesting.
Well, I mean, in order to win though, you truly must be able to win on the draw, right? So, I mean, I guess anybody that won has proven that you can win.
Yeah. And I think it also has to do with some of the field, right? That there was a lot of Amethyst Sapphire. There was just the Blurple was a very large majority of the field, and given the ability to have time, I think going second against an aggressive deck is a lot less forgiving than going second against a deck that is going to take longer to win the game. So I might be skewed in my results because this weekend was heavily saturated with Blurple Mirrors as well as the Emerald Sapphire deck. That both those decks just take a very long time to win the game. So given the amount of time, like you can draw out of anything. But some of the matchups where they just start Daisy on 1, Daisy on 2, then yeah, going second is probably a death sentence.
Yeah, the Daisy chain has really. You remember?
Oh yeah,
it's scary, but not hard to survive that.
I managed to not have to play against Amber Steel at all. I dodged Amber Steel the entire weekend, so that felt pretty good. I did play an aggro deck round 1. Shout out to the player that was playing Amber Ruby Princesses. The irony of the color combination they were playing my round 1 event was not lost on me. And as he inked his cards for turn, I looked at it and I saw red and yellow, and I was like, "This is fitting. This is."
It's from your eye.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, my big thing is I'm wondering, like, so much of the meta is responsive, right? Like we see something and we say, okay, people are going to build what they saw won, or they're going to build against what won. And we know that PPG is coming up right around the corner. That's going to be a pretty big tournament here. I'm not sure how many people are registered as of right now, but I imagine
a lot.
Yeah. Well, however many are registered, there might be one more, depending on if I can get the time. Converting top 4 this weekend gave me a little extra pocket change to plan for some travel. So I may or may not go to Denver. That is still in the works. Still talking about that.
Keep us posted.
Oh, I will for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the big question is kind of, one thing I wondered is like, we talked about like Ink Ink, there was no Sapphire Emerald in the top 16 at Ink Ink. So like, but there were people in the room that were very, very, very trying to see through the meta. One we might see later today that was trying to weasel through it. So, I mean, how much do you think this weekend's going to have an impact on PPG? Do you think people are holding back to some extent?
I think it's going to have a decent impact. I think there's going to be an uptick in both Amethyst Sapphire and Amethyst Steel. Amethyst Steel, just because it won the last 2 previous, it won SSG and it won CCS. So that's probably going to be an uptick in that deck just because of how dominant it looked.
I mean, they won Ink Ink, right? Amber Steel? Or no, Amethyst Steel. Sorry. Oh my goodness. There's so many steels.
I think Amber Steel won Ink Ink, but
yes.
Amethyst Steel won SSG's post-rotation event, and then it won CCS's 25K qualifier.
Oof, oof.
So that
looks good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I was playing against it, and like I played one Amethyst Steel in the main event and was managed to beat it, but they were on quite a different list. And then I played again, but in testing, was playing against Tiago's list, and he played the Purple Dragon 3/4 Genie. And I was like, oh, I'm just getting skill diffed by a common. I can't defeat this card. Like this card is just one of the best cards in his deck. That's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving into like especially the illusion based like Treasure Guardian, like just a bunch of cards
that list.
Yeah, just a bunch of cards that say draw a card on it. To keep the tempo, it was really big, and that's what kind of, in my opinion, gave him a little bit more game against Blurple, which made it a lot harder for the Blurple decks in particular to kind of snipe that list in particular. There's a reason that the top two lists were very, very similar. Like it was Tiago who won the SSG event, and then a player that was playing like 3 cards different than the list he was playing at the SSG event. It's because that list is very well tuned to preying on some of the slower decks.
Yeah, there were some interesting differences. I mean, we noted that the Madame Tiny Adversary was a big difference between the two. One was very illusions heavy. The other one was like a bit more challenge heavy. But yeah, I mean, both of them were just scrappy. They kept going wide over and over again, which, as you know, is there another storm coming through?
Oh, is there another one?
Oh no, sorry. Well, the graphic came on. I didn't know if Liam was trying to introduce it. Somebody's going to like come in.
It is starting to rain. I do want to keep talking about this, but I want to make sure. It is raining again. I want to make sure we have a chance to bring in some of our other guests as well. Before we talk about this top deck, let's bring in another guest. Otherwise, we leave people reading in the green room for too long. It's appropriate for the rain. We should welcome in somebody who is at home in the rain because he enjoys sailing. Apparently, I don't know, but that's his moniker. So joining us from Canada, it is Sailor.
Sailor.
Hey,
I feel like I just saw you.
The light's hinting at something.
Yeah,
I do use I used to sail effectively. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
My father built a catamaran when when I was born. He finished it up. So I sailed.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot.
Like
anyway.
I was gonna say I figured you did. I figured it wasn't just a name that you picked up out of nowhere, but that was my guess.
Just to be clear, sailor with an E, right, is not about the person who rocked the boat, right? Like it's not rocked the boat, but you know what I mean. It's about the type of boat. It's a different type of sailing boat.
Are we learning boat facts? I didn't know this part here. There's a boat. Okay, I need to do some boat facts after this.
Anyway, Hey, gang. How are you guys?
Good.
We just saw you, and now we're in the computer.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about your deck here, Sailor, a little bit, as your background indicates what you played this weekend. It was something new for you. Before we do that, I did want to just close the loop on this, on these various versions of Amethyst Steel, because we're going to see a lot of them coming out at PPG, I bet. And for the rest of the meta, the deck is very, very, very good, and especially into Blurple. But there are a bunch of different variations to it, as we see with a lot of decks in various metas. The color combination doesn't necessarily solidify what version of the deck you're going to see. And here in the finals, I really, really enjoyed seeing, as Katie was talking about, these two versions of the deck. This one, very, very illusion heavy, which allows it to work in the Treasure Guardian, and also Alpha Bro TCG. I always blank on the name, but on his moniker, but was running a version with Jafar, the Amethyst Steel version, who also cares about illusions. And so there's a heavy illusion bent version of this deck, which is clearly very good. And then there's another way you can go, working in Madame and Tiny Adversaries and some other stuff. And so there's all sorts of adaptations that you can do within this color combo. So I don't know. I'll just leave it there. What do you all think about, I don't know, Amethyst Steel and its dominance? And I don't know, which version do you prefer?
I think Amethyst is the most consistent color you can play in the game right now, right? Like they've put a lot of card draw into that archetype, into that color, I should say. And here you have like the 4 Dumbo, the 4 Treasure Guardian, the 4 Genie as ways to be at least cycling off your card and get you to see more cards. Obviously, adding that dock, very powerful dock. And the difference between Blurple way of drawing, which is the second star to the right, or sometimes the Finder's Keepers, is that you are applying pressure to the board. You are putting board presence at the same time that you're also not giving up on resources in terms of your hand size. And I think that's what makes those decks so consistent. I actually think it's the least powerful deck that we have in the meta, but it's the most consistent. And that is a lot, right? It has all the card draws from like Steel and Amethyst, but it also has the best removal, this single removal in the name of Strength of a Raging Fire. And we can see in games against Corey here in the top 4, right? Like a second game, like if you can chain docks and find strength in between them, you're gonna win your game.
If you didn't see what happened to me, my opponent William Cole decided that he wanted to be the main character of the anime, and I can't even, like, even if I did play everything as correctly as I possibly could, there was no beating the line that he had. I think there was the line that killed me in game 3 was I had a Genie, a TikTok, and I think something else, and he went Dock into.
You had Madamim.
I had a Madamim. He went Dock or Hypnotic Strength into draw card into play Dock, draw 2, strength my Genie, play Dock, draw 2, play Calhoun, strength my TikTok. And then I counted on his board and I was like, oh yeah, that's just like 7 characters. My little alligator is dead. Okay, yeah. I mean, I suppose I'm dead. That's cool. Great. It was a wild sequence of events, and like sometimes the deck does that. Like I can't even add at it. It was very impressive. I was just like, I gotta wish.
I guess where's my be prepared? Very powerful.
Where's my be prepared? Where's my be prepared, please?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are saying that, like, I'd really like a little be prepared now as a treat.
Hey,
yeah.
I did play Be Prepared. What do you mean? Like I played one sideboard.
Yes, you said you should be prepared. You should be prepared. I'm prepared to play Be Prepared, and but yours was a little bit more expensive.
Honestly,
right?
Honestly, Sailor's Pivot, I was jealous of. I wanted, like, I didn't have enough time to get games in on the deck.
Yeah,
or I think I might have played it too. Thank God I didn't. Right? Thank God I didn't, because it worked out for me. But,
it's a good thing you did it. In the
but
end,
it is very good.
Well, let's talk. You all are. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I feel like this is on the forefront of deck technology, right? Like, I think this is a deck that came about because of last weekend, which is why I feel like the meta's not solved. Is because this deck is here. Nobody said this was the big 3. This is the big 4. So very excited.
Yeah, you all are setting up my segues for me this evening. So right into Sailor's deck here. This was, a lot of people asked in the chat and then, out there, if there were any surprises for me this weekend, and this was the surprise. And not that these color combinations or this color combination is anything new. I mean, we did have versions of this deck around, in the previous meta. There have been versions all the way back to set 1. Funny story there that I'll tell later. But this version is different than the item heavy versions and stuff that we saw in the last set. And I kind of didn't see so many like parallel evolution, so many like really prominent and really skilled deck builders and players bringing this in as an answer to the Blurple and Amethyst Steel meta. And yet you all did, and they all performed very well. And yeah, so that's my intro. What's the deal here?
Okay, so I started working on Fabled lists back in July actually. When I came back from Worlds, I tried to map out some cards that I thought would come back in the reprints, and one of them was Strength of a Raging Fire, and I got it right. And people were like, "Why were you doing this come back?" Right? And we're like. I was like, I don't know. I just need to make guesses. There's going to be things that will come back, right? And so I was making those guesses, and I found out about like Tiana being really strong without as many removal, without all the Sisu going around and stuff like that, and the brawls, mostly the brawls, right? And so there was a bunch of evolution of me trying to see what would be the top decks, right? Even before seeing any of the cards that could come up. And one of the card also was like John Silver as a way to deal with aggro. And we just add the 5-drop Rapunzel in Emerald as well. That was freshly printed in one of the previous sets. So I think I thought maybe in Emerald could have some control tools, right? And once the reprint list was over and showed to the world, I started building all the different decks, right? And I had Emerald Sapphire list that I was like finding okay, right? With Under the Sea, I was playing Coil, right, early on. And because obviously, right, Sapphire, Coil, and Big Sisu, right, that was my thing. So obviously I tried to do that as well here. And then the list kept evolving, but it was never in a place where I was really comfortable beating the Ember Steel deck. At some point, with the help of other permanent players, like Joseph Quigley, Jan Locke, aka Nomlix, even Michele Asirelli from like Web from the World's Championship, and Coffin, other players. We tried to brood something, and we built upon what we each found was good. And it was Pandemium Hard, Joseph Quigley, that found that Pleakley was a very explosive start for the deck, because you would be playing those this 1-drop Bobby that you could dump some uninkables if your hand, like if you had too many Under the Sea, right? Like it meant that we could run more high cost uninkables and not ruin our possibility to ramp into this Clarabelle, right? And so the deck is all about shifting Clarabelle as soon as possible. And the best line, obviously, is to shift her, sing You're Welcome on the Blurple 4-drop. And now they have 6-7 cards or something like that. And you have 1. So you draw like 5 or 6 cards. And that's usually like the beginning of the end for Blurple, right? Because then next turn, you start playing Hades and Basils, and you just play your 2 lore questers that are very big, chunky, but also affect the board. And if they ever try to go wide on you, you just wait until you find the Heads Held High and the Under the Sea, and you remove their board. And so when the Heads Held High came in is when the Dumbo got a lot of attention as being a very powerful cards, and it was wrecking the early builds that we had. Right, we had a lot more of like, you need to be questing, you need to be like challenging. Right, we had the John Silvers, we had the Rapunzels, we had the Lewis, and Dumbo was invalidating all of that. And that's like when we had to make some very crucial changes, and that's where the Hades came in, right? And that's where the making sure we have the 4-year welcome, and on top of the Under the Sea, we have the Heads Held High. And with the Amethyst Steel also playing a lot of illusions, the Heads Held High is like a mass removal, right? Like you can heal all of their illusions, and it targets them, so you just wipe their board. You don't even need the Under the Sea if they went too far with their illusions on the play. And provides being another answers to the illusions. And yeah, it's and the last piece that was discovered was 4-drop Donald Duck, as a way to get to your Clarabelle if you don't find it in your alteration, or after having played like a big 7 or 6 costs, and you're kind of like, you went turbo ramp into a big impactful card, but now you're a bit like at the mercy of the top deck. Now is a good time to be playing your Donald Duck to refill. And the one I've been to my will, just to infuse fear in your opponent, right? Like it could always happen if you go too greedy on your second side, right?
He got me with that in our game too, and the game quickly ended.
He menaced at you with it.
And so the actual best you can do, right, is like do the shift Clarabelle, sing You're Welcome. And a lot of the time they will have to Hades your Clarabelle, right? Or if they've set up to do it, or Elsa into the Unknown, or like if you tap for Your Welcome, they can just into the Unknown it. And then you just untap, play Bend to My Will, and they have like they had 7 cards. They played Into the Unknown. Maybe they are like at 6 or 5 or whatever, and now they have no hand. Yeah, very, 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 very powerful deck, but it relies heavily on the 7-cost Clarabelle. Like it's all about the 7-cost Clarabelle. This is what makes the deck work. And there's other variations that Jeremy and Zan brought to the CCS, right? That are a little bit less reliant on those, but they don't have the Hades. So I thought maybe they were a little bit softer to the Dumbo. I guess they made very, very good results as well. So I'm sure their builds is also pretty good. But I want to end a little bit of that presentation of the deck to say that I went 0-7 on die rolls on Saturday and 1-1 on Saturday for the 8th and 9th round. And before facing RMB on round 5, my teammate, I had not played the deck on the play yet because I went 2-0 every game on the draw, and then being on the draw again, obviously, because I won the first. So the deck was overperforming on the draw, and that's like one of the reasons why I picked it up. But the real reason that I switched last minute was that I thought there was going to be an arms race within the Blurple mirrors, that we were just going to like start to go just bigger and bigger and bigger over the top of each other, removing our 1-drops, right? Removing the meta mibs that are really good against the steel and aggressive decks. And we're just going to focus on trying to beat the mirror because we knew it was one of the most powerful consistent deck. And I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go at the end of this arms race, right? Because then I'll just lose the lottery of the matchups and like lose to the aggro decks because I don't have the tools anymore. And so I said, okay, I'm going to pick a deck that is going to be good against Blurple, but also has tools against aggro. And obviously that is the Shift Clarabelle Sing Under the Sea. Like I went 4-0 against both Ember Steel and the Emerald Ember, the Dogs list, right? It was very miserable for them. Like I would turn 4, Shift Clarabelle, Under the Sea. They have no hand, they have no board. Yes, they are like on 14 lore, but then you start spamming John Silvers and they can never come back. Anyway, so I thought the deck was very good, and I think I just needed like 1 or more die roll win, and I would have got there because on round 8 on the Sunday I faced Blurple again, and my only game on the play of the tournament, and it was a bloodbath. It was so
a bloodbath,
much.
A banishment bath. Oh my goodness! Oh no.
Yeah, sorry, it's not a bloodbath in Lorcana.
It's a lore bath. It was there's lore everywhere.
Anyway, it was a big storm. I don't know.
Yeah, which I mean, speaking of storm, there's a few controversies I saw. The fact that you guys were losing the die roll, and the fact that Sailor, you might have lost to 2 people, but there are 2 people you knew quite a bit. One of them was Humble, but the other one, is this where the storm is coming from?
Yeah, Ryan.
There he is. All right, we summoned him.
Those 2 guys.
Yeah, at least
one of those 2 guys.
Yeah, why you guys got to beat up on Sailor? It seems to me.
So here's the thing. Captain? So my friends are just so good at TCGs that unfortunately, like sometimes we just have to play each other in some of the later rounds of the event. Like the fact that Sailor had to play into exactly Humble and myself, and the only losses he picks up the entire weekend are exactly us. Like I still think that's a win for me specifically. Obviously, you know, I got 18th place. I was Bubble Boy, didn't make it into Top Cut. But collectively, you know, something that I think we may differ from a lot of other teams. When one of us succeeds, all of us succeed. We truly do embrace the family mentality of our team. Like, yes, we're a team. Yes, we're competitive players. But at the end of the day, the reason that we're a team is because we're all friends. And like, we're all very, very close, very good friends. So when my best friend Humble is like outperforming, you know, 98% of the room, like I feel like I'm overperforming 98% of the room because we test together. We eat, sleep, breathe, live, dream, you know, Disney Lorcana, and we put a lot of work and effort into this. So when one of us succeeds, it's a representation of all of the work that we've put into this game and into this community. And like seeing Corey up there this weekend was honestly like, it was more special than like even some of my own success. Like I was so dude, I'm so proud of you, man. Like I want everyone to know like how proud I am of you this weekend, man.
I do want to do a quick shout out to Sailor too. And I've harped on this kind of all day, and he's probably tired of hearing about it. But in our match, which is him and I paired last round, was round 7 of the day, and I unfortunately got down paired. So Sailor was 6-1 at the time, or no, 5-1. He was 5-1 at the time, and I was 6-0. And like the round started, we probably spent about 7 to 10 minutes trying to math it out of if it was possible. Like, do I concede? Like, what are the chances that gives us, to both get in top 8? Like, do I just draw and try to either double win or win and then draw tomorrow? So there was a lot that we were trying to go through, and we eventually, Sailor was the one who kind of landed on it. Like, I think we just have to play, and whatever happens, happens. And I win the die roll, of course, because he went 0-7 in die roll.
Sailor didn't win any all day.
No, he didn't.
Just one.
And
actually,
Sailor was one of my 2 die roll wins on day 1. Like I only won twice, and one of them was against Sailor. So like at the time, I hadn't won any die rolls either. I was like, one of us has to win. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, Umble and I, we went boat 9, boat 10, and then he went 12. And then I lost. Then I lost that one.
So I rolled a 9, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then Sailor rolled a 9, and then I rolled a 10, and Sailor rolled a 10. And then when I rolled a 12, I looked at him. I was like, just tie it, just do it.
I think the dice were trying. The dice didn't know what to do. The dice were like, well, you both have to.
Exactly.
I don't want to decide for you guys.
Yeah, you guys figure it out.
To be fair, had Sailor won that die roll, I don't go 7-0, and I firmly believe that. I was able to put myself in a situation because I was on the play where I could invalidate his Clarabelles with either double ramp or getting to Elsa first to take him off of the shift lines. Mm-hmm. So game 1 went along those lines. Game 2, I couldn't interact with his Clarabelle shift line, and it was not remotely close. I think at one point he under the seed my board left me with like a Hades and a Dumbo. He welcomes my Dumbo. he plays I think he played Basil. Yeah, he played Basil on my Hades and then played Bend to my will, and I was like, okay, this is fun. We'll just go next game. I don't need to play this anymore. And then our game 3, I kind of did the same thing where he like finally got the shift Clarabelle line, but he had a card in hand and I only had 1 card in hand, and my last card was Hades. So like I drew a card for turn, Hades is Clarabelle, and then the card I drew after I think he visions and played like a John Silver, and my top deck was Second Star to the right, and then like that, the game was just kind of over from there. I was more tilted that I won than he was mad that he lost, and that was huge. Like I've been a part of teams where, like not only in the TCG space, but I've also been a part of competitive Halo teams and other games I've played where there's just like there's salt among teammates where if I can beat you in a 1v1, then like you're just upset with me. Like there's that bitter rivalry. And the fact that after that happened, that he was one of the first people in my top 16 to come up to me and just like congratulate me and like, be happy for my success, even at the cost of like his own tournament run. It was actually really huge, and like it's really cool. So like every single member of Team Maelstrom, like we're all family. It's all love. So if one of us succeeds, we all succeed, and that's just how it's been since day 1.
And that is, I think, why people like Maelstrom quite a bit. I mean, you guys have been a team where people, wherever you guys are in your journey, people are like, well, we like them because you guys are very generous with your knowledge and time, and that goes between the two. Where I think, I don't know, you guys just seem excited for wins, and when you lose, you're like, well, but so and so did good, and it's exciting that you guys have that energy because it kind of there's a lot. There's some doom and gloom out there sometimes.
I had a lot of people give me like a weird backhanded compliment this weekend where they were like,
dude, if I had $1 for every time they were like, oh, I never took you seriously because you always just like Mufasa guy.
Yeah.
Now you unhandicap yourself by like playing a real deck and like look at
you can play other decks. Yeah.
It's like you took off the weights from your ankles like Rock Lee. Like,
exactly. That is exactly what happened. Someone came up to me and was like,
I am not left-handed.
I'm so sad that Mufasa didn't get reprinted. I was like, I'm not. The shackles are free. Like I'm from my bonds. I played a good game and was like able to like win and like top an event. But the number of people that came up to me was like, I had no idea you were like actually good at the game. I just thought you just like played the software.
No.
And we're kind of dumb. And I was like, I mean, I also
well, that part's still true.
Probably.
You can be dumb and good at Lorcana, guys. Okay.
Yeah, look at R&B.
Oh no. They're friends, guys, and this is what we just said.
I've done their handball though, so like
they're all in the Maelstrom clubhouse right now. They're if I had a Maelstrom clubhouse.
If I had a full head of hair, I'd be too powerful. Like I had to get nerfed somehow.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel for every single time someone this weekend walked up to me and asked me, did I see that some of the new cards that got like enhanced images from like the deck box, like the boost Simba, I would probably have like $40.
That card's so good.
There was
did you know that card you can actually so you pay $3 and you boost it and you put a card under it and then you get to reveal the top card. If it's a character, you play it for free.
Yes. So I had like 30 people come up to me and ask me if I've seen this card and tell me about it. So then Ryan is just laughing the entire time. Like it's over the course of 2 days, people are just walking up like, Mufasa's coming back, man. And I was like, I hope not. Please stop. And finally Sunday night, we finally get home. We finally get home because Kendall again is holding us hostage at the 5th consecutive day 2 CCS in a row because he just wants to play a casual 2-hour-long top 8 match and then say play again. So we're finally going to sleep. It's like 2 a.m. I'm finally drifting off. My eyes are closing. I can feel sleep right at the precipice of my consciousness. And Ryan goes, "Hey Corey, did you see this new Simba from Mr. Noel?" And I was like, "I hate you."
It sounds like he was telling you to lock in. Which, Liam, are we about to get locked in with somebody? I see the sunglasses, and I feel like this is a gentle way of saying that someone's like this alarm going off. We're about to get someone in the building.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps he's been here the whole time in the vent.
The building the whole time.
Like, can they stop talking? Those stories.
Yeah. Listen, he would never.
We out here. Greetings, my fellow Illumineers. How are you all today?
I gotta tell you, someone gave me an Uncrustable because of you this weekend.
That's awesome.
I'm
glad. Did you eat it? Did you enjoy it? Did you eat it?
Wait,
Did you consume it?
Uncrustable?
I'm
over here eating pocket lint all weekend, and you're getting Uncrustables gifted to you. This is
get nice good, Ryan. Get good.
You see, I only got an Uncrustable. It's like you were playing the second event. You had like I had a lot more time than you. So like I was just getting pizza and
celebrity Uncrustables.
For sure.
I was getting pizza and Uncrustables handed to me.
What about you in Baltimore, GDZ?
I don't know. It's something about these Lorcana tournaments and our diet. It just goes by the wayside. Like it just doesn't matter. These calories don't become real on the weekend. But first, I want to say congratulations to all you gentlemen and the entire Maelstrom organization for a wonderful showcase. You guys put on the show, an absolute clinic this weekend. There were top performances all over, from CCS all the way to Ink. It was a wonderful, spectacular weekend for Disney Lorcana. I happened to be at Ink. If that didn't exist, I would have been in CCS with all of you participating in that wonderful tournament. I had the opportunity to go back and look at a bit of the stream when I was on the airplane. I was on the aircraft, wheels up 07 this morning. I just touched down right now, hopped to the green room with Liam. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes. Liam, you got to clean that up, okay? Unacceptable.
Whoa, GDZ is coming out.
It's all love. But I did have the pleasure and fortunate honor of being at the Ink event this weekend. It was phenomenal as well. So I encourage you all to do the same and go back and check out some of the things that happened there. They did the core construction on Saturday and then came back at it again with Infinity on Sunday, of which the DLC champion Luke Wonderland of Maelstrom won that tournament. It was a fantastic showcase playing Sapphire and Steel strategy. But on that core construction, you guys were talking about that meta a little bit when I was hanging out in the vents. Amber Steel was the show in our tournament.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Amethyst and Steel was the showcase in your guys' event. There was I count them zero copies of Amethyst and Steel made a top placement in the top 16 of the tournament that I was a part of. It was a stark contrast to some of the things that we've seen. Blurple obviously was going to be there. Blurple was in heavy rotation, being showcased mightily. But Amber Steel and Blurple were the two strategies that were being played at a high clip. But before we hop into the meta, I would like to give a couple shout outs to both of the mats for being the TO for that event. I'm going to give a huge shout out to Kurt Spice and also Garrett from Garrett's Lorcana Lair. Huge shout out to the Lorcana villain, Kawa, Kimberly Ann, Color is Law, and J-Bomb for coming there and helping with that broadcast. It was a stacked team. It was so much fun. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Why do you guys think that kind of thing happened, and why there was you said not Garrick?
Yeah, apparently not. You didn't shout out Garrick.
I said shout out Garrick.
Why do you hate Garrick?
Yeah,
I love Garrick.
Why do you hate Garrick so much?
I literally love Garrick. I am infatuated with
slept
Garrick.
they had a hotel room together the whole time. It was
really quick,
man.
Really quick.
To answer your question, GDZ, I think there's too many talents. We're gonna split up.
Yeah. Okay.
So why do you think the top 16 was so different? Oh, sorry. No, was it time to talk about Garrick?
Really quick. I do want to point out you did pronounce a really good friend of mine's name wrong. It's actually coleslaw.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
coleslaw.
No, the
coleslaw. I've been saying
coleslaw is still sitting in the airport somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Coleslaw is getting
coleslaw got nerfed. Yeah,
coleslaw out here.
She's actually buffering still. Okay, like she's buffering on her Florida arrival.
All right. RIP coleslaw. I'm sorry, I've been saying your name wrong this entire time. Yeah. I'll clean it up. Thanks, home before the correction.
Chill.
You're welcome.
She's upset that we gave her real name. That's actually her. She goes by Color's Law because her government name is Coleslaw.
Oh,
unknown fact here.
She's never not gonna hear about it.
She's oh my goodness, she's in misery right now, and not
she's in the airport for 8 hours. That's brutal. That's
just a day's work. That's just a day's work.
Light work, no reaction.
I had to sleep in the airport in Chicago coming back from World Class Cards, and I think I was in the airport less time than Color has been so far.
That's brutal.
So yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you about my journey this morning. I arrived at Atlanta Airport at 9:47. I was in my car in Tampa, Florida at like 11:51.
Yeah, I was home in 2 hours.
Awesome.
I don't know what to tell you. I literally got to TSA, went to my plane, and left.
I went international and was home in 3 hours.
Yeah, so we had thank you guys for absorbing all that bad luck. I appreciate it. You guys are heroes.
Yeah. So
let me go a step further. I didn't pay for a seat. Tell me how I got row 8 aisle seat for free.
Just because of the way you are. They saw you and they said randomly that's a blessed man. No. Hashtag blessed. I am like Pitbull.
I'm usually 33 like E. I'm in a middle seat in the back of the bus like 98% of the time.
No, you want to talk about bad beats?
Yes.
So
every day.
To your teammates.
We got well that too. We got to the airport and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ask to see if I can maybe squeeze in on your flight. We're going to the same place. I took this one because it was a little bit cheaper. I didn't really care about spending the excess time because my wife wasn't getting off of work until around that time anyway, so it worked out. But then after the long weekend, I was like, I want to go home. So I went up to the nice lady at Spirit Airlines behind the little kiosk at his gate, and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'm having a real kind of a great weekend, but like I really want to go home. Is there any chance that there's any space on this flight that I could just squeeze in on? My other gate is right over there. It's still Spirit Airlines. I just need to go back to Tampa." And without missing a beat, she just goes, "No, absolutely not." She goes, "This is a full flight, actually, so you will have to return to your gate."
She said, "Back up, sir."
I'm sitting, yeah. So I'm sitting at my next airport because I go to Fort Lauderdale, and I get a text message from Ryan that says, "Hey, there's just casually like 10 people not on this flight, and there's a seat right next to me that's completely free."
It was me in an aisle seat, an empty middle seat, and then like a guy in the window. And then behind me there was an empty aisle seat, and then like just throughout the whole plane there was like 10 empty seats, and like the lady was just like, "No, sorry, we don't do a wait list." Like he was like, can I go on like a wait list? She's like, "No, we don't do that. This is a full flight."
Yeah,
we don't do that. This is like Spirit Airlines.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm getting delayed for 7 hours because there's a little bit of rain. So it was fun.
I feel like we did the flight better report, but I think the question that I feel like poor JDC is like, maybe. So why do we think the top? He was doing the mall report. Okay, he almost got kicked out of a mall yesterday. He literally almost got arrested for
that. Was good energy.
You got to fight for your right to finish a tournament.
Let me tell you guys something. If you If you haven't done a good mall tournament, and that was the vibe back in the day, a good mall tourney, it'll take you back to your roots. I felt so nostalgic sitting in that mall, seeing that tournament go down. It was a good time until the security guard came and Paul blotted us out of that mall.
He got the little segue and just kind of zigzagged around you and said, "Go on."
That was a good vibe. It was a good energy. Shout out to the Westminster Mall. It was
you've clearly never done the finals of a top 8 in the McDonald's parking lot.
What are you really doing?
But
I would like to transition this thing. If you guys could give me some of your insight, why do you think that meta is so different? Because we had a very unique Amber and Steel strategy that did take it down. It wasn't the typical prototypical Amber Steel strategy that Sailor's been kind of pushing there. It had some different unique techs in there. He had a lot of bodyguards and a lot of interesting tools that he used to take down that event. And the player, shout out to the Dave, he did a fantastic job. He played very, very well. He's a very coherent and competent player. Got that Snow White in there that can't be challenged. He had the Prince bodyguard. He got Lady into the Bolt. I thought was really cool tech. Tell me about this deck, and what do you think? Why do you think there was such stark contrast between two of these major events in this second week of Fable?
I think it's mostly variance.
Excuse me?
The Dave is the one who won Ink.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out my round 7 opponent at Continentals, the Dave.
Let's get it.
Get it. I think it's mostly variance. So one of my friends from Quebec, Nicolas Leblanc, shout out. He brought a similar deck. He had Bolt, but he also had Bagheera, and it was very similar to actually this list. And he finished 17th.
17th. Yep.
Yeah, and there was also 2 other Amethyst Steel in the top 16. They just got paired into Amethyst Steel both. If I remember correctly, right, Katie? Anyway,
the 2 Amber Steel, 4 Amethyst
in top 8, right?
Yeah.
They got paired into Amethyst Steel.
Oh, yes. The Steel came out. It's not the worst, yes.
So I think it's pretty normal to see that top cut lists of all Blurple and Amber Steel means that there was a good chance that the Amber Steel could go and win on the event, whereas the Ember Steel at CCS add more steel to get through, right? With those Amethyst Steel being very good against that strategy. I think the Amethyst Steel, maybe they lost some points by taking out the Madame the Skater Mim, as we call her, the tiny adversary. I think that card can take over that matchup by herself almost.
Yeah.
So taking her out, maybe they gave up some points, but it's still a very, very good deck against Ember Steel. So, yeah, I think it was those Amethyst Steel making sure that Ember Steel doesn't win it out, and they have a closer matchup between Blurple, whereas the Blurple versus Ember Steel is way more polarizing.
I do want to point out the inclusion of Snow White. I think it's very interesting. So a lot of the Steel decks that I've seen are just opting to just play Strength of a Raging Fire and really no other ways to interact. RMB swears by Fire the Cannons, which I think is probably still correct. Or Smash, either one of those 2 options is probably somewhere you want to be. But having Snow White be a character that you essentially have to waste one of those spells to remove, because the format is just so challenge heavy and inherently. Even as the Blurple player, right? I have a lot more interaction as far as, non-challenging removal. But then great, I had to waste my Hades on your Snow White.
But there were times, to that point, Humble, there were times he would take that Snow White and put it inside of the Rapunzel's tower, and it would just become this impenetrable thing. And that while he's questing and doing his thing, it's just stuck to the board, basically. Yeah, so that was really cool to see.
That's a shout out that guy, because that seems like a combo deck if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, he's got the Tiana in the tower with the Snow White in the tower, and it's just okay, I guess you got to do a million to do anything. It's just
Yeah, it seems like
Challenger 9.
It seems like he already took a already powerful deck and gave it an Exodia combo, which is kind of insane. So now I have to either out your location, so I can then use my premier removal spell to out your 4-drop 2/2 that quests for 2. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, what's bad?
Yeah, I remember Kurt telling us I want to play some Rapunzel Tower, but he couldn't crack it exactly and decided against it at the end.
And shout out to Kurt. Kurt played well as well. Of course,
yeah, Kurt's commitment to like these aggro decks that have some big brain moves in them is quite fun, because I think aggro is a deck that people tend to think is like the small, like they're like, all you do is go fast, but it's about going fast and knowing when to go fast. As a person who's fallen on the aggro sword many times, thinking that it's just the easy pick, I think it is important to the meta. If we don't have aggro, we have pain and suffering, but also it's a deck that I think people underestimate. They're like, all you do is just quest out, and no, don't quest out. That's actually what you do, and then you lose. I can tell you guys about that if you join my
there's a lot of merit to be said about a deck that kind of lives and dies by its very linear game plan, and this is and as well as some more of the faster Amethyst Steel variants can take advantage of some of the slower decks, green blue or blue purple, some of those decks that just take longer and have more opportunities to stumble. Like if you are able to hit everything, and like RMB can attest to this because he's the one who played against Amber Steel the most this weekend, at least at our event. If you're able to see your breakpoints and you get the cards that you are hoping to see in that matchup, it's a very easy matchup for the side of purple. It is not very difficult. If you stumble once, the game is over. And I think that's a lot where that point is where a lot of the power from this deck comes into play, is because you're doing this very linear thing that you pretty much say, like, if you can answer X, Y, and Z, I'm probably losing. But if you stumble at any point during your attempt to answer X, Y, or Z, I just win the game. And that there is like that kind of mini game you have to play of, like, did my Blurple or Amethyst opponent see turn 2 ramp? Did they see the strength of a Raging Fire? They did not. Cool. We can go to next game because I am now firmly in the lead.
See, that's the kind of quote that JD and Katie and I are all memorizing right now, and you're going to hear that on stream at PPG next weekend. That's what we do, is we pirate your stuff and then
I actually come up with everything on my own. Actually,
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't even remember what I said. So if it sounds smart, I won't remember.
For sure. All original drafts.
You did some
over here.
We'll put like some weird words like splendiferous or something. Like,
we'll mix it up. We'll take it, edit it, put it in chat.
Put some glitter on it.
We'll get it going. Don't worry.
I do any Amber Steel versus Emerald Sapphire matchup on stream?
We didn't get too much Emerald Sapphire. I think we had a few
Justin,
players,
right?
Yeah, we had and also I think Dan from the Forbidden Mountain was playing Emerald Sapphire. He had a really cool Emerald Sapphire deck. He was playing the Ink Geyser Jeweled Collar strategy, which was really cool, and I think he just bubbled out at the top echelon of that event. So that was a really cool thing. Something to build on there, and it was kind of cooking a little bit. Jeweled color loved the jeweled color. That was just hilarious seeing that thing.
Oh man, Ink Geyser, that's not a real card.
He was cooking a little bit. He was cooking a little bit with it.
Yeah. Something you have to understand is that deck is not easy to pilot in the least bit. Like, it is. I think Sailor was able to pick it up and just audible to it very quickly because he's spent.
Because he's Sailor,
because he spent 5 sets making his name on one of the most difficult to officially pilot.
No, hold on a second, because Sailor ranched me for like 3 hours straight the other night on Baja Blast. Yeah. No, I ate. Listen. He ranched me like I was. Yeah, I was straight up blue cheesed. Like,
yeah, what is this anyway?
I lost on repeat for like 3 hours straight. testing into the Baja.
That's what teammates are for, right?
Baja blasted into the sun.
It's honestly, but it's the Sailor diff, right? Because you lost to him on repeat for 3 hours, and then when it mattered, you got there because you understood.
No, it didn't. He lost the dice roll and got so unlucky. He didn't have the clarity. I'm not gonna diminish my own play, but he did not have the optimal lines against me at all. If at any point in time, here's the thing. If I'm on the play as Blurple Boy, if I'm on the play, I can exert his Clarabelle, challenge it with the Elsa the turn before you can shift, sing your welcome, and that stymies it. That still doesn't work if he has two. If he goes baby Clarabelle, Sail, second baby Clarabelle, I'm ranched again. Full ranch, whatever type of
whatever. We still don't know what it means, but he is.
Yeah. He got.
Can we define ranch?
Yeah. Is it like put out to pasture?
We're focusing on the wrong parts here.
I don't think we can focus on anything else right now.
You've never been ranched before?
I feel ranched right now. You're throwing a ranch in the works here.
How do you put a sailing boat? How do you ranch?
I'll put it to bed.
Ranch by a sailing boat.
I'll put it to bed. If you've ever played a game, if you've ever played a match against an opponent and you have zero agency and the entire game, you are just like, I want to do anything else but play this game with this person at this moment in time, you're getting ranched.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. I don't trust anyone. And I know I'm going to say this and people be like, Katie, what did you say? And this is why I have trust issues with saying words. But I'll say you just got Thousand Island.
So ranched is essentially cooked. Like, you know, when you're like, oh,
what?
Man,
that's not cooked. It's the coldest, honest cooked thing in the world. It's like, I just got cooked by mixing together some dairy products. You're not. I'm sorry. Poor Liam. Liam's like, I've lost all control here. Anyway, I'm
we have dictionary now.
Or like
on
you're
the
chalked.
You
know the word like chalked. Like, oh, I'm chalked.
Yeah, but that's just a different substance.
Dude, I'm trying to Google it. Google is giving me nothing. I'm
okay, to ranch. Okay, who put that in the bottom? Liam, was that you? Do you have a ticker?
That was me.
Did you copy and paste this or something?
I totally chat GPT'd this and then
wait, so you didn't like
dunk on them? Yes, it's dunking on somebody.
Well, did you finish like where the region is?
Like style
what
region?
You're dumpstering.
Is this a Florida
ranching them
from Middle Florida?
Where did this phrase come from? Is it like
it must be Middle Florida?
It's a Florida thing,
I guess.
It's like a mid Florida.
It's a Florida.
I don't know. To be fair, I hate ranch. I am not a fan of ranch at all.
It doesn't sound like you like it. It doesn't sound like you're a fan of being ranched at all.
No, I'm not. Ranch tastes the way that a wet dog smells. Like, I do not like ranch at all.
Wait.
I don't like getting ranched either.
Have you heard the rumor that Amber Steel players all love ranch sauce? This is a known. Yes, this is known by everybody.
This is why I don't like Amber Steel.
I mean, we're gonna bottle of ranch and take a swig.
Someone who knows what they're doing, clip this, and we're gonna research this.
Brian, if you ever disrespect ranch in front of my presence again.
Well, speaking of ranch, I might have to ranch out here before I'm ranching on the couch tonight because my wife is going to ranch me if I stay any longer here because I've
put you out to the ranch.
Take me out to the ranch and put me out to pasture. But before I go, I would like to say again, huge shout out to all of you gentlemen and Liam as well for allowing me to come here. And huge shout out to Ink, Garrick's Lorcana Lair, Lorcana Villain, Kawa, Kimberly Ann, Colorist Law, J-Bomb. My face is still hurting from laughing so much this weekend. And also another thing I want to shout out again, maybe you can pull up Luke's Infinity deck and you guys can discuss that as I depart. But they also did, for the first time that I had the opportunity to be a part of, a youth event. It was really cool to see the kiddos out there embracing this game, and it was so fun to see how excited they were to play the game. They had their decks, and these kids were absolutely cooking. Like they would easily clear me, and they were very strong players. We were able to stream their finals match of the kids tournament as well on the broadcast. So that was really cool to see actual children being a part of this, being represented, and just the joy and love that they have for this game because the children are indeed going to be the future of what we're doing here at Disney Lorcana. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that's something that people can continue to build upon and doing that. And the winning deck was Amethyst and Steel, and it was an Amethyst Steel mirror there. So maybe the kids are ahead of meta game, and they know what the real vibe is. I don't know, so that could be what it is.
Kids are all right.
No, thank you. Thanks, JD, for literally just humble, rolled in and then jumped on stream. I know you did the same thing. Yes. And so I can understand how your family is missing you right now. So, but I really appreciate you jumping on. You know, we are all here. We are all on the Charlie's crew this weekend, and Ink, I know through a phenomenal event that none of us got to pay as much attention to as we wanted to. So it didn't feel right not to have somebody from that event here. And so, and with everybody traveling, you were the one who could make it, so I really, really, really appreciate you stopping by.
And everybody's going. Are you guys all going to PPG next weekend? I mean, I think we're going to do this all again, maybe potentially. I know Katie's going to be there. I know Liam's going to be there. Humble, you got that big body piggy bank now. Maybe you can book a ticket and get out to PPG next weekend potentially.
Possibly. So I talked to my wife because I had a very large amount of time to sit and talk and while I was waiting in the airport, and I was like, yeah, this is a tournament next week that I'm not going to go to. She's like, why? I was like, well, it's too short notice. They're like the cost. She's like, but didn't you just win the money to put towards that. And I was like, yeah, but then like I don't like. She's like, go. You should go.
You should marry that woman.
Oh, I did
like 16 years ago.
Well, do it again.
Follow your dream.
I would 100%
if
I could. I would 100% if I could. I'm still not. I'm still like 50-50 on it. I don't.
No. Wait.
I have to like see if I can get the time off of work. Is
let JDZ not get divorced here.
Yeah.
I do have the part. Until then,
I will make sure. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. No, Liam, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, thank you so much again. I was gonna tell the audience, make sure if you're not, everybody here is already following JDZ. If you're not, we're gonna make sure we have a link to his Twitch channel in the show notes. You should be following him, and he will be.
We'll have episode 5 of This Is Not a Podcast happening tomorrow with myself and Garrick from Garrick's Lorcana Lair. So make sure you guys tune in, keep it locked, don't touch that dial. Until then, I'm JDZ. I'm on the quest. Shout out to the room, Super OG. Peace. We out of here.
Yep.
Love you, say back.
Do you think he ever accidentally says that at the end of a phone call when he's like with his insurance adjuster? He's like, till then.
Seriously. I hope that he's just like casually like talking to like he's like on like the line with like Maytag customer support for like his dishwasher or something. It's like no, it's like on the fritz and like like, hey, thanks so much for your help. Like shout out to the real ones, salute the OGs.
Yeah.
At Worlds, GDZ gave me his real name, and I just need his number. And I'll figure that out myself. I'll be able to call him by his real name, do the whole thing.
It's really crazy,
Hope I get it all, right?
Taylor's gonna cold call JDZ. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I have to say, I do have to say, Katie, you've stayed longer than you meant to as well. I want to make sure that we have a chance to say goodbye to you before you have to go, because I know you're only supposed to be here for an hour, but. The link to Katie's channel will be our Twitch stream if you're not following that as well. I know everybody here is because these two are way more popular than I am, but it will be in the show notes. And yeah, we'll all be out at SSG next weekend. Katie, any closing thoughts? And thank you so much again for stopping by.
I mean, my one closing thought is one time I did ask JDZ, I was like, hey, I got this thing for you. Like I got mats for the ICL folks that we help like run the ICL. And I was like, can I have your address? He's like, yeah, it's JDZ PO Box. I was like, JDZ, I'm mailing something to you as a gift. And you're going to tell me to send it to JDZ Quest PO Box. And the answer is yeah. So, but luckily Gen Con, we got him, folks. We got him. His name is JDZ Quest. It's weird. It's a family name, but yeah, PPG, I will be. Yeah, I literally unpacked my suitcase. I was like, for what? Why did I do that? But I did. I put the blazer back on the hanger and I'm gonna like get that blazer back off and then put it back and get on a car I'm driving actually. But yeah, cannot wait. And we confirm Humble is 50-50 on it, and then R&B and Sailor, you're not gonna be there, right? But you'll be at Milwaukee.
I can't.
Okay,
R&B seems like he's not sure. I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think this was, I thought it was yes or no. I thought.
So if Corey's, I don't know, makes it happen.
You have to go together. You guys are a package deal.
Like, I don't know that it's going to happen like exactly together, but like I cannot physically take any more time off of work. So if I were to make this work, I would have to like fly out Friday night after work and like fly back Sunday night.
Well, don't fly with Corey because he's cursed. So but you are cursed too. I know. You're cursed too. Yeah, never mind. Don't.
No, I had a fantastic traveling experience. Hey now,
okay.
That's like why are you bringing up the whole? Why are you bringing up the past?
For every flight you've ever been on, okay. But anyway, I will head out and hopefully I'll see you there. Yeah, I'm driving out Friday and I want to get there early, but I'm driving with Luke. And Luke, literally today I said, hey, we could drive out a day early and go to Rocky Mountain National Park. He's like, oh, to sleep there. I'm like, no, to go hiking. And he said no. So shout out to Wonderland on Team Maelstrom who said he won't go hiking. So now we can't. He's like, oh, I thought you just wanted to sleep in Rocky Mountain National Park. I was like, why would we sleep? Anyway, so I've got some Nebraska players, but we're not going to Rocky Mountain National Park because he said, oh, I don't do that. He said he went to nature once. He said, I already saw nature.
Katie, I just want to say, I would have gone in an heartbeat with you.
Thank you. And you kind of look like you would. I said Sailor always looks like he's down for a hike. Like you always look you're ready.
100%.
You have a little.
I've done Mount Washington. I've done the New York ones. Like
I was like, it'll be so fun because yeah. So we're gonna drive up like some players from here, and then he said,
I would go if you can like deal with complaining. I would complain the whole time.
I mean, if I invited Luke, I had already agreed.
Fair.
No, how do you have Luke on the team then? I literally went to Disneyland and he ate a kebab from a Bengal barbecue and said, and I was like, hey, Luke, we're about to get on the Jungle Cruise. I need your attitude to turn around right now, buddy. Didn't turn.
That's me talking to my kid.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, we paid a lot to be here. And I'm so sorry, Leo.
I will turn this around right now.
Yeah, I will turn this boat around. It's on a track, but I'll.
We'll go to the bathroom right now. I'll give you something to cry about.
Did Katie take a knee and just be like, "Look, pal, right?
Hey, buddy.
I need you to buck up, okay?
Listen,
buddy?
champ.
Hey, buddy is just diabolical.
Hey, buddy. Look around. Are the other TCG players making a scene right now? I don't think so. It's just you. Just you. Anyway, shout out to Maelstrom. Good team.
Shout out to Katie.
If you don't buck up right now, I'm going to make you roll with Sailor's dice tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to have to use Sailor's dice in the tournament.
I don't know. That might be a cheat code because he did do really well.
Yeah, right. The dice. Oh goodness. Oh man.
These are
These
going
dice.
in the bin.
Yeah.
Out.
As long
out
We
of
should do a
here.
giveaway. One pair of cursed dice.
I want those for my shelf. I want.
Sailor's cursed dice.
Oh, he just threw them in the trash. He just actually put them in the trash.
No. So I need a pair of those dice now. I want to frame them. Here's the deal. If you send me a pair of those dice from this weekend that didn't win a single roll, based on this episode, I will get them framed.
One.
I will. That's true.
Roll.
That's not much. I will get them framed and mounted with a little plaque that says "Sailor's Cursed Dice." Break in the case of
that would be
something terrible.
When I won my round 8 die roll, I was almost upset and disappointed about it. I was like, I wanted to go 09 and still make top cut.
See?
And then go and go finish 16 and go on the draw every single time on top cut and go to the finals. And we're like, let's go.
So they hosed you just enough that you couldn't brag about it. And then at the very last second.
Yes.
Wow.
Like I think they did it on purpose, like those dice, right? They were like, wait a minute, it's not on us. Like we're gonna give you 1.
Yep. I'm serious. You get me those dice and I'm gonna frame them. And they're gonna go.
The trash is not too disgusting. I think
that's okay.
Not too
gonna
disgusting.
go on my shelf here.
Adds to the story though. So
exactly.
You want a little bit of filth on it, like a little Taco Bell cheese or something.
Awesome. Well,
some ranch. Get them ranch.
Take your gloves while you manipulate them.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head out, and then it looks like we got some stuff to talk about. But I'm gonna go. But I'm gonna go drink some ranch as I do as an Amber Steel player. All
right. Thanks, Katie.
Bye.
I'll see you next weekend. Get some rest. And there she goes. All right. Anytime. Here's the thing. Anytime I get more than one Maelstrom crew on the channel, except for Logan. Logan's kind of even keeled. Anytime there's like 2 others of you or 3 of you on the channel, it's chaos.
Wait, when it's Ryan. I think it's Ryan.
Yeah, blame the bald guy. Oh, there we go.
I also blame Ryan.
It's 100% my fault. Like I take full responsibility for my actions.
Well, that makes it fun. So we could be here all night. So let's try to start to wrap a little bit. And I guess I'll ask one more big question before we kind of go around the horn. And that is, what have we missed? Like we talked a little bit about the meta in both events. We talked a little bit about Emerald Sapphire and how it's kind of made a bit of a splash. We talked about how I don't want to call it a rock, paper, scissors, but there are really 3 dominant decks, and we saw 2 of them like up north and 2 of them down south. But the consistent one was Blurple, which is just really good. And a little bit about how this meta is not solved. Like what big points about this weekend did we miss, and how does this set us up for PPG?
I can go. Or Ryan,
go. No, go ahead. You're way smarter than I am.
Wait a minute. Yeah, so it was really all about the rock, paper, scissors, except for Tiago, who like, oh yeah, no, I win against both. What are you talking about? I'm both the rock and the paper and the scissors. So I think that speaks for like not putting things in those very like polarizing thoughts, right? Like it's not because you're playing an archetype that is historically bad against one that you cannot find your ways around it. And I think playing something like Amethyst Steel provides you some of that, for as long as you put out the work to try to find those plays and those deck building choices. And so I think it's not going anywhere. I think Blur Ball is not going anywhere. It's very powerful, very consistent. And Amber Steel, I think, is going to go on and off, right, of the meta, depending on like how it's able to attack it. We've seen that it was able to do so. Like yes, it didn't like put the first place or whatever, but like it knocked out Ryan, and it did put 2 people in top 16. So I think it's still a force to be reckoned with. And then we have this new kids on the block, right? Like this Sapphire Emerald. That kind of like doesn't want to play into the rock, paper, scissors, right? It's trying to have like a game against everything else, but it relies on this specific thing and very specific play patterns that you need to be really aware of. I think there's still places for some innovations, but I'd be very, very surprised if we see something completely out the window for PPG. We did see some success on like the Emerald Ember dogs list, right? Like at the 5K on Sunday. Diego, shout out Diego, level 9001 World's competitors.
And Ghosty top 8 at that event as well.
Ghosty top 8 with it as well. There was obviously other blurples, and there was also Fungus playing the Emerald Sapphire as well. So I would say like, yes, Ember Emerald is still like maybe tier 2, but it's still a deck that you need to be aware of. And in general, I think we didn't talk about Emerald Karmicon as a card that is very, very powerful into that meta, because it's a lot about challenging, and it's very hard to play against. So
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to kind of point out, while Emerald Karmicon I think is extremely powerful, there is a sub game kind of involved in that as well, with depending on the player skill of the opponent you're playing against, there is a very good opportunity for, if that player is able to, use your very powerful card against you. There was a couple times, and like it wasn't at CCS, but I had tested against a little bit of the deck. And when they played the Karmicon on me, I thought, okay, sick. I didn't realize how powerful it was until about halfway through the game, and I realized that I get to play a mini game of make your card work for me. And if your opponent can put themselves in situations that you are putting back their Hades, their big Elsas, for them to replay them, there is that little sub game that like it can be a double-edged sword. So that I do want to just point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can also see, that's the thing. Here's the thing: you can also just bounce your own stuff too. Like you can bounce your own dock, and like, okay, now I get to replay a dock. Or like, yes, I have 2 Curse Merfolk sideways. You challenge one of them. I bounce the other one back to my hand so that I can replay it and hit you with another 2-ball.
No, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. I did have one question in the chat here that I thought I would address. Humble, you also mentioned it in the private chat, and a couple of people got this. You all, we get used to a lot of the top players being on teams, and that obviously gives you a powerful advantage because you have a playtest group, you have other really good players to bounce ideas off of, and as we all know, like iron sharpens iron, or steel sharpens steel, however the saying goes. But for those who are just jumping in the game, who perhaps are in their first tournament, who aren't part of a team or just don't have a playtest group because they haven't found that yet, what advice would you all give as members of Maelstrom for folks to up their game? I'm going to give the first one before I open it up, and that is join the Maelstrom Discord. You should do that
works
first. And I'll post a link again in the chat here. But after you do that, what would you all say folks should do?
So I would say definitely get a friend group, not even necessarily a testing group, but just a friend group of players that you respect. You have to understand that like you're only going to be like, you can't be the biggest fish in the smallest pond, right? You have to. Losing is what begets success, right? Like R&B said earlier, Sailor absolutely destroyed him for 3 hours straight, but it taught him lines. It taught him the matchup. It taught him that the matchup's not good, but it taught him how to play against it. And that's the biggest thing. So information is key. Just because you're comfortable in where you're at, that does not mean you're improving. Finding players that are of equal or a better skill level than you to just grind games against, and don't get upset that you're losing. Losing is good. Losing equals results.
No ego in card games.
Take me, for example. I played Mufasa and lost a lot. And but like what I learned from playing Mufasa and what I think helped give me an edge, especially in this event, particularly in this meta, is my bread and butter is character-based challenging. That's how I played the game. That's how I handicapped myself for the first 5 sets of this game. So I had a different understanding of how this particular meta is kind of working. Clearly, people are going to adapt as well. I just happen to be a little bit ahead of the curve because of the tier 4 deck I invented and decided to stand for 6 sets.
I think another thing too, like maybe you don't have access to like people in your area that you feel like maybe you have social anxiety, maybe you just don't like people. Maybe I'm not gonna. One of the things that I used to do, like before I had friends, that's just a real thing that existed during my time in existing on this planet. But you can record your own games. So I actually used to record a lot of my own games, and I'd go back and I'd watch them to look for any variations in my play, how it could have impacted and changed the outcome of the game. So like I do this pretty frequently when it comes to like streamed games as well. I'll go back and I'll watch some of my stream games just to see like, did I make the correct play lines? Were there other play lines that I could have taken? You can do that, with yourself. If you're looking for, cam games, if you're looking for, Pixelborn Connect games, there's a variety of different tools out there for you to leverage. Record some of them and then go back and watch. And I would specifically suggest watching the ones that you lose and see if there were things that you could have done differently to arrive at a different outcome.
Very good advice.
Sailor, you got anything?
Yeah, you can get coaching.
You can actually subscribe to Sailor's Metafy because I've learned. Do you know how much I've learned from him? Like, it's so ridiculous.
Oh, so much.
It's so insane. Like, yeah, I give this man money just because.
Honestly, it's a lot of time, right, to get where we are in card games, and it's a lot of dedication. And I understand it's like people don't always have that time. Obviously, like most people don't. So resources, right, like guides, and don't be afraid, like to give it like a little $10 on how to play a deck. It will give you new perspectives on how to play that deck, right? And it also encourages people to create that type of content that is very, very, very high-end, high-profile, right? Like, and that will give you a big edge. So I do think that, like what Humble and Ryan said, Corey and Warren said, like, they're very great advice at getting better, like very, very, very good. But like, if you want to talk about like specifically like trying to be learning from people that put more hours, like it will try to put you in their mindset, and that can also help trying to level up.
I can also say too, like, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like, I can't. I'm not going to sit here and speak for every competitive player, but I can speak for myself, and for the most part, the majority of the boys on Maelstrom we're just guys. We're just guys being dudes. We are not something special. We are not this entity that you can't talk to. Please come up, talk to us, ask us questions. We are more than happy to answer questions. Like even yesterday during the 5K event, and after my round, we answered so many questions on the Blurple deck and the mirror and why we were playing these cards versus these cards and what lines we should take. Everything. Like we're not going to gatekeep information. We're not going to gatekeep anything like that. Like if you want to buy a coaching session, have a dedicated, hour talk with us, 100% do that. Like we can really get into it. But if we're at an event or you just hit us up on Twitter or hit us up on Discord and you just have a couple questions or you have like want some deck advice, it might take a second because we are busy people, but we will respond to you.
I had a dude reach out to me today from the UK. It was like, hey man, I watched you over the weekend and then, I heard you on the spaces this morning. You know, he even's like prefaces, he's like, you know, I don't know, like, you know, if this is something you do, if you have time, but like, I have a couple questions. Like I spent like 30 minutes just having a conversation with the dude typing, just being like, he wanted to know some specific things on how to get better in the Blurple Mirror. Like I played the Blurple Mirror 8 times this weekend and I went 8-0, and in games I was 16-1 in the Blurple Mirror. And the majority of those games were on the draw. And he's like, I don't understand how to sequence the on the draw, you know, disparity of playing, you know, Blurple v Blurple. And I gave him 5 different play patterns for the on the draw scenario. And he's like, all right, sweet, dude, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go to my locals. He's like, do you mind if I reach out to you in a couple weeks to like, if I have any more questions and to like, let you know how I did? I was like, absolutely. Like, that's what we are here for. Like,
like
I always say, like, after my coaching sessions and like people reaching out to me are like, give me those feedbacks. Like after your tournament, I want to hear back, right? Like how it was, right? Because I feast on those and like feedbacks and people talking to me about Lorcana. I just want to talk about Lorcana all the time, right? And I see his the Disney dude talking about like talking lines and discussing our thought process. Like I do that every day of my life, right? I just do that. That's just what I do. And I see Lorcana a lot of like chess, right? You're talking about openings, right? But like the Blurple openings, right? Okay, if they do that, oh yeah, that's very powerful on the play. What's good on the draw, right? And we do that for every matchup, and that's how we get better. We think about those things. So when we come up at the tournament, we already have these ideas when we play those games. Like, oh, he's opening with that. I need to be reacting this or that way.
Yeah. Also, as Sailor, like to kind of piggyback on what Sailor said about the resources earlier, watching back gameplay from events. So like, I know I myself had a good amount of feature matches this weekend. R&B had a feature match. I don't recall if Sailor had a feature. I think Sailor and I's feature match was Pack Rush, which he completely annihilated me in. But watching back, like from competitive events, some of that gameplay, and kind of asking yourself why these players that are finding success are making the plays that they are. Like I believe it was my top 8 match against Ivan. I was going second, and there was a point where I could have played my Genie on turn 4, and I didn't. And I think during the casters were talking about, oh, why didn't he play Genie, this and that, and then it was because I was playing around a very specific line of Genie into Elsa, so I didn't give up my Genie for free. So I played my Elephant to kind of stymie that, and then it throws him off a turn, essentially. So going through those lines, like understanding those play patterns is really huge. So going back and watching coverage is also really big. And as Liam said earlier, just joining the Maelstrom Discord. Like, I don't want to sound like a soulless shill, but you do get a lot for being a subscriber in that Discord. Like, there's been multiple nights that Sailor and R&B, or I and R&B, or really just the entire group will get into a stage, and you get like as a subscriber, you get a little peek behind the curtain in our testing sessions, and like that is very valuable. You get access to our deck lists kind of ahead of time. We have an entire thread of every color combination that we have kind of come up with and have thought out some kind of viability option, and our lists are just in there. You can ask us questions. We interact so much with the community and try very hard to get as many questions answered as we can.
Yeah. Fungus brings up a really, really good point here too. So first of all, shout out Fungus. Dude's an awesome human being.
You stole it from me. I was about to shout you can't, man. I can't get credit for this shout out, man.
Fungus is such an awesome dude.
This Maelstrom stream now, and
anyways, guys, welcome back to the Lorecast. I'm your host, RMB, aka Mr. Bald. Yeah, dude, shout out Fungus, man. First of all, Fungus is an awesome human being. Love this dude. He's always bringing the sauce. Really cool guy. He's not on a team, so like, if anybody's out there looking for like free agents, like that's the dude you should be talking to.
You want to talk about a shout out Fungus for playing his top 8 5K match while R&B and I are just sitting directly next to him, just as unhinged as possible, because we have been in the venue for a collective 18 hours, are hungry and tired, and are just saying whatever comes to mind. It is just...
He's playing against Dale Bolito, and Dale's like falling asleep. because he's just like so like Dale does not stay up past 10 p.m. and their match went on until like almost 11. So like Dale's just like half asleep. Corey and I are a different, breed after 9 o'clock, and like Fungus is just like locked in, laser focused, like calculating every single play. He's got like 22 ink at his disposal every single turn. But anyways, like he said, parsing through bad advice is also really, really important. Try not to get too looped in and hyperbolic clickbait, which there's a ton of right now. I think that's like really, really sound advice and very, very important. Don't get got by clickbait. Don't get got by clickbait.
That's a great point. And actually, I'm going to, before I shout out Fungus and I'm going to say that it's fantastic advice, because as a content creator, I can tell you the clickbait is going to be, 70% of the content out there, because it works, frankly. Like you hate it, right? But when somebody creates a thumbnail that says, Dumbo is the best card in Lorcana, people are going to click that video either because they agree, because they disagree. And it's just the way the world works in terms of content creation. So finding content creators who are trying to bring you the best information and not just get clicks. But here's the thing, y'all, you need to support those creators, because the clickbait creators are going to get the clicks based purely on the way they design their content, whether it's right or it's wrong. So finding those voices, both competitive players and content creators who are trying to bridge the gap and bring you those competitive players, is key. And it requires wading through a sea of clickbaity content. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. This is the best deck, this is the worst card in Lorcana. This is the best card in Lorcana.
We broke the meta with this new beta.
Meta is broken.
Yeah, we solved everything. No, you didn't. The meta is, see, that's the thing. A meta is never actually truly solved. Meta is evolutionary. Meta is whatever is popular the weekend, bringing the thing that puts you in the best percentage of what you anticipate the makeup of decks to look like. Like metas do not typically get solved unless you have a tier 0 format where like the same deck is just winning absolutely everything. It's showing up, 90% of cuts, and like we don't have that right now. We had 2 different events go on this weekend with very, like, obviously Blurple was the constant, but like 2 very different results. I mean, we had one that was completely dominated and won by Purple Seal, and then we had another one where Purple Seal wasn't even in the top 16. So like the meta's not solved. Like I'm telling you right now, the meta is not solved. I already have been in the kitchen doing the cooking today, whipping up something for PPG Denver.
Which you're gonna tip me off about, so I don't sound dumb in the booth, right?
Dude, I don't. Here's the thing: if I'm not going, I'm not telling anyone about it, because it might be the sauce that I bring to Milwaukee. But just know that I have some absolute sauce right now. That
caveat: he hasn't put it in front of me yet, so it might be it might not pass the test.
Oh, hold on. He's not wrong. Hold on. I'm gonna do this real quick. Y'all converse against your here.
No.
Sailor. Look at chat. There you go. Enjoy. It's in front of him now. It's in front of you're getting a live reaction, okay? Live reaction.
Clip this.
Candid live reaction. Don't say anything, but candid live reaction.
Those are 60 core constructed legal Lorcana cards for sure.
Hold attention. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right. Well, again, we might need to clip this, and then next week after PPG, we'll play this as a recap when this deck wins the whole thing. All right. Final Lorcana question before we really quickly go around the horn and sign off, because it's been way too long. Is Dumbo that good? Somebody asked this a long time ago. Thoughts. Dumbo, broken? Yes, no?
It's not broken. It's just that the power level is very low, so it's a good card.
Right. It's broken for right this second. As more efficient removal comes out, as other cards that come out that can kind of combat it, it'll get worse over time. right now, there's a reason that card is $80, and I'd argue that it's. I felt it was kind of worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. No, the other reason why it's so expensive is that a lot of us
product shortages.
We buy products, right, every set, so we already have all those reprints, and so we're buying boxes just to open that Dumbo to get a play set up to go to these events, right? And so everybody's like kind of in the same situation. We're looking for one legendary out of a whole set. That's why it's so expensive. Yes, it's too expensive right now for its power, but it's also a very, very, very good card. And every time I was playing against Blurple this weekend, right, I built my deck with 12 answers to it. But every time I didn't, or I spent a removal on something, and then the top deck Dumbo, like this guy Humble did, I was like, oh no, I should have held on to that removal. I took a chance and it didn't pay off because this guy's a lock sack. And this is what Dumbo is, right?
Yeah, I mean, so every time I was able to deploy my Dumbo and it survived the turn and I get like more than 1 or 2 triggers out of it, I just won the game. Like it is a must answer card.
Yes. Yes, it's very, very good.
I don't know. I can't. My experience was flawed. I guess was skewed because every time I played that card, like the game just ended.
Dude,
very quickly.
I'm gonna have the hottest take out of all of us. Like, is the card good? Sure. In a format where like we don't have really good removal, I do not think that Dumbo is gonna stand the test of time. I think that like
that's not what you said though. Like we're saying that it's great right now.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, it's like fine, but like people are like the question that people are really wondering
is like fine.
Is it worth going and like spending $80 on a Dumbo right now? Like probably not. Like
Ryan,
you can play other decks, yes.
Ryan, how many enchanteds do you own?
Let's show the 4 enchanteds.
Show the people what you did.
Yes, exactly.
Show the people your shame. Oh my!
Yeah. Oh, the card's not even that good.
It's not that good. Like,
yeah, no problem.
Look where Bonnie is.
Just because I like shiny things. It's just a great art though too. Like
sure. But like
no, the card is great.
Yeah.
The card is very good. Will it stay as good as it is right now? 2 sets from now, probably not.
I don't think so.
Everything is volatile in card games, right? So don't hold on to your Dumbos thinking it's the best investment of your life.
There's a good chance by set 11 the Dumbos like a $5 legendary. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
this one too.
It's interesting. That's so on Dumbo, like Fungus is almost verbatim kind of the way I tried to describe it on stream. Like it's very good card. It just happens to go right into a couple decks that are already very, very good. Blurple would still be very good without Dumbo. It just it gives it one more thing that takes it over the top, which is it's a must answer card. Like Blurple's already doing good stuff, but when you add into it a card that you have to get off the board, similar to Diablo. Diablo was broken partially because it had this early game combo, which you just had to, you could get it on the board in turn 2 and just it could go up. But even in the later game, if it hit the board, you had to answer it. Otherwise, the game is out of control. I see it very, but the deck, has other things it can do without Diablo. So I don't know. I see it kind of that way.
It's not as strong as Diablo, right? If you want an answer to that, like because Diablo, we're punishing you for drawing cards, try just to answer it.
Yep.
Diablo
was punishing you for taking unavoidable game actions.
For legal purposes, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice.
That is true. That is true. Dumbo can't be the best card. Tailwagger is. All right. This could go on all night with the 3 of you, and I would love every second of it, honestly. But let's wrap this up because we need to, because people need to sleep. I do want to ask each one of you where people can follow you. We've already plugged the Maelstrom Discord. I'll plug it again. Join the Maelstrom Discord. Link in the show notes. But where can people follow each of you, and what do you have coming up? Starting with Humble.
You can follow me on X, Humble. I don't even know my tag actually. I think it's 4538. At Humble 4538. You can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram. I'm trying really hard to post more there. I'm a boomer and don't understand the Instagrams very well, but I'm trying. You can find me on Discord also at Humble 4538. You can find me on most socials. But other than that, if you can't find me there, I'm in the Maelstrom Discord 90% of my time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
There you are. Look at that. It is 4538. Yeah,
I'm smart sometimes.
Yeah.
I might be going to PPG Denver. I don't know yet, but I will definitely be in Milwaukee. And moving forward, now that I don't know if I'm gonna do any more CCSs because I'm already qualified and whatnot. So.
Even if I was qualified, I'd still go to every single one of them because honestly, this past weekend was the most fun I have had in a year playing Disney Lorcana.
We didn't talk about that. This was literally mini DLC, right?
Yeah.
It was the most fun. It's the most fun I've had in almost a year playing.
Not only was it the most fun I've had, it was the most stacked competition I've played in.
It was
they were just casually 7 Worlds competitors in the room. And for the fact that I went undefeated, I was like, me? I did that? No, that's not. I was waiting to wake up all day.
In my 9 rounds, I faced Haymaker, like ex Yu-Gi-Oh pro player, very, very good.
So did Corey. Corey ranched Haymaker in the mirror.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ryan,
put some respect on Haymaker, right?
Yeah, he missed
4
drops both
games.
I
love Haymaker.
I faced Ryan here. I faced Corey. I faced Head. I was like, what is this? What is this going on? Like,
yeah, the round 2 feature was just Bivens versus Zan. Like it was insanity.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We said at the top, but I will just echo that before we move on to Sailor. Yeah, I mean, the level of competition here was crazy, and even though there were all the names, all the people that we know, but there were like every player there was just good, and so the level of competition was crazy. I loved it. Fungus saying I had to play Worlds players in rounds 4 and 6 in the last 2K. Yeah, crazy. That's in Atlanta. Anyway, all right, Sailor.
X.com/Lorcana_Sailor. You can find me on Midify .gg --Sailor. You can find me on Discord as well. Look at this nice picture of me at Worlds with Frank Carson, one of my MTG hero, playing him in round 5. Worlds was such a great time. And you can talk to me on Discord as well. I answer almost everybody who's nice enough to say please, thanks. And
And Ryan.
I'm bald. You can find me like making really poor financial decisions basically at any vendor.
The number of times this weekend he like found me after a round and was like, I bought another enchanted.
A cheap one, right?
The number of enchantments that I purchased this weekend is like some number greater than like 9. But I don't really want to talk about that. You can find me on X at
that was a great
R_M_B_X. I don't know. Just like throw up the bald signal. I have a link tree too. My link tree has effectively like everything. Oh yeah, there's shout out Mo Shamblin, another Worlds competitor. None of our wives were there, so while the wives were away, the boys will play.
What happens at CCS stays at CCS.
Exactly.
Unless you post it on social media.
I mean, like that too.
Exactly. That was me and Corey
at the airport before everything fell through.
I pulled a mini. I pulled a mini, and then down at SSG last weekend, they just like had a Mickey in the case, and like I just threw a lowball offer at Devin. Was like, oh yeah, I'll buy it right now for X amount of dollars, and he was like, bet, and I was like, oh I guess I'm buying this now.
How it happens, huh?
That's just how it happened.
Ryan did get that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Googly in the chat.
Oh no, RMB is here. Oh no.
RMB said I'm net positive this week. I am still net positive this weekend though. Like
yeah, but
I did win money. I got 18th place. Like I did win some money, and I also vended like
You,
a ton of cards.
My brother in Christ, you are net positive in TCG math only.
Yeah. He's net positive because the real treasure in TCGs is friendship and the people you meet along the way. And what an enriching weekend is, invaluable even. So absolutely. With that, again, we could go all night, but we do need to cut this off. So thank you everybody for joining us. Just a couple notes. We're back next Monday. We're going to be talking about the results of PPG in Denver, where some of us will be. I will be. Katie will be there as well. JDZ and at least one of the people on stream, if not maybe one more. We'll see. I'm going to count Cumble as it going at this point.
Maybe. If I can get the time off. Then
so I mean, half of the people on screen may be there. If you don't subscribe or follow us here at Limiteers, we'd appreciate it. We do live streams every Monday night and occasionally put out fun videos where, I don't know, the last one we did that was kind of fun was the top 10 cards in Fabled as voted on by a bunch of amazing Lorcana players, including a couple people in this chat here. And Humble even makes an appearance in the video. But everybody gave their input, so we appreciate that. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters for making this happen. And thank you all for hanging out in the chat with us tonight, especially some of you amazing content creators, Fungus and Googly, the judge there, Gate and Call joining us from Europe. So for all of you, thanks for joining us. And Patreon supporters, yep, I think that's it. All right. With that, we'll see you next week. See you on the stream, PPG.